Hello, friends. Welcome once again to the Perfect Bound Podcast. This is a podcast all about anything and everything comic books and comics related, brought to you by the Panel Jumper and Comics Dungeon. My name is Ben. With me, as always, is Mr. Cole Hornaday.
Hello.
Chris Casso.
Hello.
And Nicole Lamb.
Hello.
How is everybody today?
Pretty good.
Excellent. All right. Well, it is a
Nicole's dressed all girly, and I'm having a terrible time with it.
Just terrible.
I have a terrible time. Yeah, it's just I've known her for how long, and I've never seen her dressed like all sweet and summer florally. Yeah.
It is a lovely day here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
It's
and
one of those
she's
days.
incredibly lovely.
It is. I am not going to disagree with you.
She is
It one of those
outrageously
days
lovely today.
Where I want to just take the entire table out on the sidewalk and have a beer.
Gosh darn it, let's do it. Just stand by. Hold on. We're shifting. All right,
That's
my backhanded way of saying that you look really lovely. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because it has to be backhanded.
Yes, because it can't be front-handed.
We cannot be genuine in our compliments.
My internal organs
fantastic.
will. Yeah, it's just my entire system will revolt, and my intestines will crawl up my esophagus and strangle myself as though I'm being tortured by Vogon poetry. Let's move on.
And if you are listening to this on iTunes, we are actually videotaping today, so you can go to
Yay.
YouTube and see exactly how pleasant Nicole looks.
And how flustered Cole is right now.
All right. So, hey, before we go,
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Meet us on the sidewalk.
Before we
And
start,
good night.
I just want to bring up something that we talked about at the end of the show last week, and that is an event that is coming up this week if you are listening to us as we release these, and it is the Panel Jumper Episode 4, an Odd Duck, based on Howard the Duck, playing at the Central Cinema
right.
this Wednesday, July 27th at 7 p.m.
Right.
And Cole, do you want to talk a little bit more about what that is?
Central Cinema invited us to do a little pre-show entertainment. We will be presenting our 4th episode of The Panel Jumper, An Odd Duck, which gives you the background on the trials and tribulations of Steve Gerber and his creation of Howard the Duck and his fight.
That's great, Cole. Thank you very much.
Oh, you are such a turkey. I cannot believe you. That's all that was for? Really? It's like...
Keep going.
No, I don't want to now.
Mess with you. We have this relationship where I like to just try to make you as mad at me as possible.
Well, guess what? Anyway, so they're screening Howard the Duck in Quacklevision, which is their version of Hecklevision. Wait, what's Hecklevision, you ask? You can actually text your snarky comments up on the screen through the movie, so it's supposed to be really, really fun.
And it's interactive, and if you ever wanted to be the smartest person in the room when you watch that movie, you can go to the Central Cinema.
Now you have your opportunity.
Yeah, and have 150 people laugh at your dumb joke. Okay, anyway, so that's coming up. Be sure to go to that. Go to thepaneljumper.com for more information if you want. And coming up, man, I'm out of breath. I just ran over to look at the camera.
I'll vamp a little bit more for you. By the by,
winded.
you might actually get to meet our Howard the Duck, who starred in the episode. My prop wife, Amy Lazert, and I are rebuilding Howard, who has been in like 62 pieces since we shot it. And we're making him one solid unit. And you can hopefully you can come and get a selfie with Howard.
You are missing an incredible opportunity to pull a Godfather on that. Just stick it in somebody's bed while they sleep.
Why would I want to do that? I have so few friends as it is, Ben Lawrence.
Moving on.
They had to be friends.
Moving on. Something that...
Reputation.
Let's talk about... So we talked about what we're doing for the Panel Jumper. Let's go over to our friends at the Comics Dungeon. What is happening in the dungeon coming up? Do we have any events on the horizon?
We do. We have our anniversary week coming up, starting August 10th, going through the 16th. And also in the middle of that, and the 13th, we have John Layman, the creator and writer of Chew, in for a signing. John used to be local to Seattle and used to shop here with us, so we gave him a call and wanted to see if he wanted to celebrate with us. And then we've also recently just finished up a couple really cool kids events. And we might be doing more soon. And local creator Chris Sheridan came in and drew with a bunch of kids and taught them some basics in art and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was kids ranging from about 6 to 12, and anyone who wanted to make comics, who was within that range, could come and hang out. And we had 2 sessions, and they were very, very successful to the point where we'll probably look at maybe doing this monthly. So I would say, check out our Facebook page and our website to.
So
see
do you
if
set
those
up
pop
space where the kids can
Yep,
draw on
and
the tables?
we
and
have
stuff?
drawing
Oh,
pads
excellent.
and all different types of
Can you
tools.
supply the drawing pads and the drawing utensils and things?
Yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah, we move some stuff around and make that happen. Yeah.
Cool.
And then another thing that the owner and I just cemented as part of the anniversary month week, but we'll be doing this for the entire month, is that we will have a raffle contest where there will be a huge grand prize. It's going to have tons of trade paperbacks, toys, a couple $100 worth of stuff, and every time you buy a back issue in the store, you get one free raffle entry into the contest. So if you, over the course of the month of August, buy 200 or 300 back issues, you get 200 or 300 entries into that raffle. And we will make it well worth your while, too. So more details of that will be going up online in the next week or so.
Yep.
Awesome. So check it out, comicsdungeon.com, or like them on Facebook.
Yep.
Because you know so many things.
We also have book clubs monthly. We have 3 running now. We have a ladies club, an after hours ladies club where we talk about naughty comic books, and we have a general one for everybody to attend, and those are always monthly. So those are also on Facebook.
Awesome. Check it out. All right, moving on. Let's talk about a couple of images that were released online about a couple of things that we're excited for. One of them is a picture of both Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey as Roland and the Man in Black from the Dark Tower adaptation.
Who's Randall Flagg?
Randall Flagg.
The walking dude? Seriously?
The Man in Black.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw the pictures of Idris Elba. I didn't see.
Oh no, the McConaughey hey pictures came out. And I gotta say, I was like we've said before, I was a little on Matthew McConaughey taking over that role, but he looks pretty good.
Well, he just needs to be charming. He just needs to be satanically charming.
He's the right age for it now.
What's the matter, Nicole?
Satanically charming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of this is hilarious. Plus, I was rolling off of the Idris Elba pictures in my mind.
Yeah.
So it's just constant.
Well, it's just a foregone conclusion. He looks like the best. He looks awesome. Sorry, Chris. Keep going.
Continue.
Oh no, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I because when they first announced McConaughey, I just picture younger McConaughey.
Yeah.
But like the older one that was in
True Detective?
True Detective fits better into
Yeah.
the role for Randall Flagg, I feel.
But McConaughey he's like he's always going to be that guy for me from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's moved on since
I
then.
know,
You
but I
know,
can't
did
get
you not
over it.
see True Detective?
I did see True Detective. It was great.
Yeah, he was tremendous in that.
Again, one of those things where I'm like, oh man, Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey? I really ended up liking that
Yeah,
show. Haven't
they
seen
were
season
just
2 yet.
both terrible, disreputable. Well, they weren't disreputable. They were just really troubled people.
Yeah, so it worked. And also, just today, I saw a picture of Peter Serafinowicz as the Tick. Did anybody else see this?
yeah.
Why, yes. Yes, I did.
No.
It's crazy.
Now, this is another one of those.
It's on the panel jumper
It
page.
makes me sad.
This is another one of those where I'm like, oh man, Peter Serafinowicz, and like Matthew McConaughey, I want to say, well, maybe it's not so bad, but still,
It's not even the guy, it's the costume itself.
Yeah.
Like if you see the original live action Tick costume, it's the most perfect thing
great.
ever.
Yeah.
And
it's this slick, smooth, blue.
It's just
like,
dopey
rubber
looking.
shoe-
It's just
rubber
really
suit.
dopey looking.
And that's right.
And the new Tick costume looks like someone actually put work into it.
well, it looks like that
It's
kind of
crafted
modern,
to
like
look
we
like-
have to make Ninja Turtles look a certain way
Oh,
now. We
it's
have to make
detailed though. It's chitinous. It's there's
Batmaned it.
grinling. There's detailing in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They Batmaned it, but it
Batmaned
looks
it.
like it looks
Oh.
like chitinous body armor.
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking
It
at
looks
it
like
now?
the Guyver
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Also,
Looks like somebody like sculpted it. That's what
possibly.
it looks like to me.
I also don't like the eye.
No, I mean
holes.
He also doesn't have the girth of Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
And Patrick Warburton was the perfect. Before Patrick Warburton even heard of the Tick, people were telling him, you should play the Tick in the live action show if they ever do it. Watch this cartoon. And he didn't, so there was like the universe had already cried out and said, there is a space in Hollywood shaped like Patrick Warburton. Walk into it. And he did, and it was good.
Yes, yeah. If you've never seen the live action Tick, it's a thing of magic.
It is a magical. And the cartoon is brilliant too. They both
yeah.
were projects, they're just properties ahead of their time.
I have faith because Ben Edlund is.
Back
I think
on
he's
it.
writing it. He
Yeah.
may be producing it as well. I'm hoping he's writing it. So I'm sure the writing will be up to the same quality. It's just like, man, Sarah Finowitz has such big shoes, literally, to fill for
Yes, he
that
does.
role,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be hard for him to adopt that character.
Well, and they showed no images of Arthur. None whatsoever.
Right.
I mean,
Now the question
they got to get that right. They got to get that right. They just got to get that right.
Will it be Deflator Mouse or will it be Batman Web?
Oh, well, I never understood why they did that.
It's a rights issue, I think.
Did
Right?
I still think we came out winning.
But
with
Deflator
Batman
Mouse
Web.
is an ancient German opera. Who owns the copyright to Deflator Mouse?
But I'm guessing the producers of
We
the
could wiki that.
cartoon
Right.
had the rights to the Deflator Mouse character that had that look. And so
Okay.
the producers of the TV show didn't get those rights, and so they had to make up their own. That's why Lady Liberty
Right, it was
became
not
American made.
Yeah.
Maybe this time we'll
Vice
get
versa.
Sewer Urchin.
Anyway, so that came out today.
No, I'm just flashing back on the old cartoon.
My friend Paul, Paul Goody, who we've talked about on the podcast before because I reviewed a children's book that he did. And I have this back and forth where because he really likes Peter Serafinowicz, and I'm he's funny, but I'm not like the big disciple of his comedy. And Paul's like, yes, he's gonna be the Tick, and I'm like, no, but I kind of feel vindicated when this picture came out today because I'm like, yeah, no, it's not gonna be good.
So no, we're not going to. It's going to be on. It's going to be on HBO.
No, it's
Amazon. That's
yeah.
right. So we have to
Oh.
pay for Amazon Prime to watch it. Is
Yep.
that
Well,
the
then
deal?
I will not watch it.
Okay. Darn
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of things coming on Amazon. The Grand Tour, which is the three guys from Top Gear, have their new show on Amazon. So I might have to get an Amazon Prime account because I really want to watch it.
I'm kind of surprised actually you're here because shouldn't you be binging BoJack Horseman?
BoJack Horseman.
season
No,
two?
that's tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it already started.
No, it
Oh,
starts
no
tomorrow.
wonder he's here.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna be. I'm going out of town tomorrow, and I'm not gonna be able to watch it until Sunday.
You're gonna suffer.
man.
You know what? I'm gonna watch them all. I'm gonna jeer at you from a distance.
Yeah, whatever. I'll be hanging out with a bunch of theater people in a hot tub. So who got the better
right.
part of that
That's
bargain?
Yeah, it's so you think. Have fun with the scabies.
Anyway, hasn't affected me yet. Let's move on. There was an article in the Washington Post recently about the resurgence of comics. And I think it's funny because the Onion just had an article recently. It says comics now more mainstream. Says 84,000th publication. That's
right.
But the Washington Post recently said that the industry had its best-selling month, which was June of 2016, that it's had in 2 decades. And I just want to ask Chris and Nicole.
Is this true?
Is it true? Did it happen? Was June your best month in 2 decades?
No.
No.
But the numbers are really skewed because those overall industry numbers include the sales to like big chains like Barnes and Nobles. So
Does Diamond not deliver to big chains like that?
no, they do.
Oh,
so,
they do. Okay.
So the thing is, like all those larger chains are going to probably kind of skew towards some better numbers than smaller stores like us.
because they buy more to fill those.
Yeah,
large-
and a lot of those numbers are basically, again, what Diamond sold, not
Yeah.
what we sold.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Because
so
we're
it's-
Diamond's customer, not the customers who come into our store.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
We're the
kind of like
middleman, so.
I'm sure that a whole bunch of Rebirth Green Arrow sold 1 billion copies, and we did pretty well with that. But it's like if I had ordered 200 copies, I'd still be sitting on a bunch of them. So it's just that weird displaced math is happening
Okay.
whenever you see a report like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still a positive, generally good thing. But for us, no, last month not so great.
So what was the groundbreaking year? What was it in the 90s? The sales year?
I don't know. It says I don't have the article in front of me.
Oh,
Okay.
well.
I didn't realize that was
Do
going to
your
be
research,
put on
man,
the
for pity's
witness
sake.
stand.
Well, I was going to ask because I was asking because what we were selling or what you guys were selling back then was different kinds of things. That the incentives to come in the store and buy, there were a lot of gimmicks happening back then, and there were tons of people were buying things in bulk that now are in the quarter bins.
Right.
You know, there's a. So I was just curious if there was that held any.
So many other
merit when you're comparing numbers from both periods,
because other things to take into account are digital sales, and Amazon sales and stuff like that. So
it's kind of one and the same now, though.
Yeah,
Comixology's owned by Amazon.
But so Diamond has this monopoly in terms of distributing physical comics.
It's not a monopoly, Ben. It's not a monopoly.
It is a
We don't
monopoly.
use the M word.
I don't
We
care.
do not use the M
They're
word.
not listening to this show.
It's not the M word.
Okay, it's Diamond has a Chutes and Ladders when it comes to distributing comics
Tunnels
to
and
stores.
trolls.
mostly shoots.
Mostly Chutes.
Nice.
They're not connected, I'm assuming, to the digital market. And so when you talk about Diamond sales, you're bypassing completely the digital sales. Is that correct?
I believe so.
I've seen
Don't
different industry reports that kind of also show the digital numbers in there, so I'm not sure how those reports take into account those divisions. It gets pretty muddy, and there's usually like a whole bunch of asterisks on those reports. You got to go back to the bottom and be like, that takes that into account, but doesn't take that into account. So I would assume that a lot of those things you just mentioned don't take that into account.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong.
All righty. Well, if you know the right answer, email us at perfectboundpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, why would you? That's why you're listening to this show, to learn these kinds of things. But let's so the end result here is, Washington Post is full of it.
Broad generalization report.
Yeah.
Without really caring about the minutia.
All right. Do you have, now I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, do you have just offhand knowledge of, let's say in the past year or so, what's been your best month and why?
Oh.
Like, was it when Rebirth came
The
out?
words were told to me. I just don't retain that stuff. I'm just worried about getting the next orders in.
How about
thinking hard.
like the Emerald City week,
That was
like that
pretty
month,
good
because we got that
month.
boost.
We got that boost there.
Has there ever been a day when you turn off the lights and lock the door and you say, "That was a good day"?
Like a Muppet?
Yes, when we have a good day, you turn into a Muppet. Wow, this is amazing.
I haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah.
There's-
Okay, so you heard
we
it from
just-
here. You heard it from him.
I
Here,
haven't
folks.
had any Muppet
Yeah.
days.
hasn't been a good day.
All right.
We take it day by day, and maybe some numbers get thrown out.
Remind me to come back to that, and I could get some actual concrete numbers to use.
All right, I'm going to write
Excellent.
down Chris's Muppet Day, and you're going to remember what that means.
I
And I'll do
will.
the voice.
Good. Can you do all my voices?
Yeah, I can do all my voices too.
Hopefully I'll be able to read my writing.
all of your voice.
My voices.
You know, you need to articulate. So, yeah,
I do.
Moving on.
please, God.
All right. So, it was revealed recently that Tony Stark is going to be passing the torch of Iron Man over to
Passing the suit.
over
Hope he
to
washed it first.
Riri Williams, who is a young African American girl. She's 15.
Well,
And so that's a thing that's happening. I lost my notes on this page. Okay, so Brian Michael Bendis says that he won't say what is happening to Tony Stark at the end of Civil War II, so speculate away. However, he also says in regards to why it took so long for cultural diversity in comics, he says, quote, talking to any of the older creators, it's the thing they said they wish they'd done more of, reflecting the world around them. It just wasn't where the world was at the time. Now, when you have a young woman come up to you at a signing and say how happy she is to be represented in this universe, you know you're moving in the right direction, which is interesting because I read an article today from that was retweeted, an article from ebony.com saying this is problematic because women of color are not writing this character. And I know that this is something that you have
it's
long
something I
been
harp on
talking
all
about.
the time. Yeah.
It just depends, I think. Yeah, it really does. Because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in some instances. Some people are like, you need to do it, but then it's like, are you pigeonholing people because then,
And the other considerations to take into account is I think Bendis actually might be contracted into like a long-term position with Iron Man. So this is a good movement that just happens under his purview due to a contract agreement, probably. So it's just one of those things of like, yeah, they're not going to move him around that quick because they always have to keep Bendis on what they consider to be a flagship title. And Marvel's been trying to make sure that Iron Man is the flagship concept. It's not selling like it is, but they want it to be because of the movies. So it's just one of those, you're not going to displace him so soon after he just arrived.
Sure.
And it's questionable how early they were thinking of this movement, because he's only been on the title since the end of Secret Wars, so
Which is like,
January-ish. So it's like things are kind of moving fast too, considering they're doing like super
But that's not to
shitty.
say that if her character is not popular enough, they can put an African American writer on a spin-off series or a mini series or something cool like that.
Yeah, and that's I think that black women are underrepresented in the industry as writers.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, we do have African American writers
Sure.
that tend to be male.
Yeah.
We have Asian American writers. They tend to be male, I think, as well. But
Well, for me, it's just the boredom factor. It's like I would love to read stories about an African American female character written by an African American woman because I'm going to learn things. Because I've been reading comic books for a greater part of my life, and I would like to learn new things.
Yeah.
I would like to be taught new things through my comic books because, I don't read anything else.
None of them there.
No other form of literature matters to me. I don't even read the paper. All I read is comic books. Yeah.
The picture books.
Actually, I wanted to ask you, does that actually influence your enjoyment of a title? Like, if you were to start reading this new Iron Man without knowing who the author was, would you be able to enjoy it?
That's a good question.
Like, if you
I would probably be excited.
You didn't see a name on the front.
Sure, I would probably be excited by the prospect of this character and what they were doing. But sometimes what happens is it's a big bang up front, and then it falls back into pretty staid or predictable tropes. And that happens, that's what's frequently been frustrating for me is there will be a new book, a new storyline, and it's exciting in the setup, but the follow-through, for whatever reason, sometimes just the lack of imagination on part of the creative team.
Yeah.
It falls into tropes they were familiar with.
Or quick changes to creative team.
Yeah, it's true too. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing because we've been exposed to Brian Michael Bendis for so much that I have a lot of preconceived notions and biases. I like parts of him. I despise parts of him. And so going into this, I'm kind of like, meh, whatever. But anybody who's never read him before will be exposed to a lot of different things, a different writing style. And like I can predict a lot of things from his writing style, like especially like in Civil War II, which he's doing right now. And it's just like, hey, they're going to do a bunch of stuff, and he's not going to do any good action scenes that give them weight. But people who haven't been reading them that much aren't that jaded like I am. So it is probably going to be a very interesting divergence of opinions, just depending on who's coming in fresh on him. So
she's got a bionic heart. I see it from the images. What's her name?
Riri.
She's got an electric heart. So I'm like, that's Stark technology. Wonder how that works.
Yeah, I find it interesting too that Bendis is saying like, it's just not the way the world was, and that's why we couldn't do these diverse things. I think that's funny because it's like you have to be banging down the door like, why can't I get my representation now, for the white world to go, oh, I guess we should take that risk and make that happen, when it's like, no, if you just made it, you would have seen the sales. But at that point, you would have thought it was a risk. So as a business, you kept it whatever.
That's a good point, because
you kept the status quo, which happened to be white world,
Yeah, nothing would ever change if your thinking is, well, that's just not the way the world is.
It's not like a black teenage girl was like, I'm so happy with all of this white representation. Maybe in 10 years I'll care about seeing somebody like me. No, that never happens. That never happens.
I think that statement was very thoughtful of his being polite to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah. It's
I
just-
totally agree that should be a thing, but I shouldn't say bad things about the guys right before me. So
The people
not
who
the
gave me a
time.
job.
Or the
Yeah.
people who are signing my checks.
All right, so finally on this topic, let's speculate about what happens to Tony.
So there's another title called the...
International.
No, that one's ending. They're doing another I word, like a bad I word.
Indomitable.
Irrational.
But it's going to be...
Irritated.
I think it's going to be...
Irritable. IBS.
Impunious.
It's going to be Dr. Doom as Iron Man. So they're playing it up because he's been a background story in the current Bendis arc. But he's actually a good guy.
Ignoble.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
But so Tony's probably just going to take a vacation, have some sangria at the beach, because he's done this before. Rhodey War Machine took over as Iron Man, and so many other people have been in the suit at different
Yeah.
times. So it's just sort of like, it's a vacation. It's 6 months. I'm going to go have some Tom Collins. And,
He's a rich dude. He needs a vacation.
Except he doesn't drink, though. He doesn't drink.
Anyway. All right, so that's the news. We only have a limited amount of time to talk about the current news. So if you have anything you want us to talk about or that you feel that we missed and we should discuss, email us at perfectbombpodcast@gmail.com and we will bring it up. All right, let's move on to Book Report, everybody. And Nicole, let's start with you.
All right, so I'm keeping the tradition alive and talking about Black Panther.
Yay.
Excellent.
Black Panther number 3. This is a little old at this point, but it's new to me. So I feel less Wakanda. Why? I feel like it's in the middle of the, like I'm like, why can't Wakanda have a good day? I'm so sad for Wakanda. Oh my God, this is too intense. I need something fun.
Got it.
This one is a good middle arc issue. I feel like it's starting to bring some things together. Black Panther he's been feeling very powerless. He's been feeling like he hasn't been a good king, and here he's starting to like regain himself. There's more forward progression on his sister. She's an in-between worlds. There's also this very interesting being that shows up that is in cahoots with the other woman. I forget her name. Zenzi. And then there's more on the Dora Milaje girls that are the Midnight Angels. They're the ones who are like grassrootsing it, like trying to protect the innocent and punish the guilty. So I felt this was a very strong like middle issue. The first 2 issues definitely was just like, oh my God, why everything is horrible, and then it's just like it's getting some good momentum. So I'm enjoying the pacing on that. Still Ta-Nehisi Coates and Brian Stelfleas on the art. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying this. Very much looking forward to this being collected to push it on all of the masses.
Sure.
So yeah.
Rock on. All right, Black Panther number 3. Thanks, Nicole. Chris Casso, what about you, sir?
So I read the first issue of Spectrum, and this is part of the media project that Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion are part of, because they're in a TV show called The Con Man. There we go. And it's about like a guy that works at, or that goes to all the different comic conventions and promotes his show, which I think is called Spectrum. Excuse me.
How very meta.
Yeah, it's super meta. So this is the actual story of the show that the show's about.
I'm lost already.
Yeah. It is pretty...
Did that hurt your head? That kind of hurt my head.
It really did.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would clear my sinuses, but... So it's written by P.J. Harsma and Alan Tudyk.
Not PJ Harvey.
I'd read that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And it's drawn by Jason Johnson, who did the line art, and Sarah Stone, who did the finishes. Now, the funny thing is, Johnson's not credited on the cover. The whole thing looks more like Sarah Stone because she finished it. And I love her because she did some Transformers comics. And
Of course.
it reads very much like Mass Effect. So much to the point that if you're familiar with Mass Effect, there's these little Reaper guys, little buggy Reaper guys. And so I think it knows it's doing that. And the characters are drawn to look a little bit like Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion. And somewhere in here, Nathan Fillion gets a credit in the back, but I don't know what he did.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
All he has to do is show up.
Yeah. So it was pretty
Even
fun.
that's questionable, actually.
And it looks great, and it was interesting. I'm sure it probably has a little bit more oomph if you watch Con-Men. I haven't seen any of that, but I heard it's great. But I would recommend it as just a pretty fun sci-fi book, especially if you like Mass Effect, because it's pretty much kind of Mass Effect.
Also, then read Justice League Rebirth, because they show up there too, the Reapers.
Yeah, the Reapers show. The Reapers are like everywhere.
They're everywhere
Jeez.
now. Everyone just finished the trilogy of Mass Effect and are like, Reapers are great. I mean, they're horrible, but great. Put it in your story.
Yeah, they're like space Cthulhu's, which is redundant. They're like robot space Cthulhu's. Kind of.
Robot Space Cthulhu's. All right, Spectrum. Thanks, Chris. Cole Hornaday.
I
what
read.
about you?
I read a trade collection of Mark Millar and Frank Quitely's Jupiter's Legacy. So this is one of many books that populate the Millar-verse. This is issues 1 through 5. It's an interesting series. It starts out with you've got your Golden Age type characters and who have been doing a great job of saving the world, but not really changing the world. And their progeny are these superpowered. Narcissistic, nihilistic, self-absorbed children who just party all the time. And then it gets a bit Shakespearean, where one Golden Age brother challenges the other Golden Age brother to change the world order, to change the economy, to change, and we've seen Millar do this before with the Authority and that sort of thing. It's not a story that we've seen. It is a story that we've seen before from Millar and from other people, but gosh darn it, there is no getting past the beauty of Frank Quitely's artwork. He is a superior artist, and even if the story gets a little dog-eared and cliched, it really doesn't matter because the colors in the artwork are beautiful, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading this, and I will probably pick up the next trade when it comes out, and I will probably pick up the book that is actually the prequel series called Jupiter's Circle, which tells the story of the Golden Age characters who begat the characters that are the protagonists in this book.
Not only is the story dog-eared, but the book is. Did you take that into the bath with you?
I borrowed it from the local public library.
Oh, that explains
And
it.
yes, if you want to get personal, I took it to the bathroom with me a couple of times because I'm 50.
Oh, I forgot to mention your age today.
Well, no, I beat you to it, Ben, so don't fret.
All right.
I still don't have a cell phone.
Nope, no cell phone.
Still, even after this year and a
Well,
half.
eat your ruppage. You'll be spending hours in the bathroom with Frank Quitely.
All right. So let's stop with the
Sorry,
bathroom humor.
Frank,
All right.
ahead of time.
Hey, Cole, before we
What?
move on, why don't you explain to the audience what we're looking at here?
Oh, well, we're admiring this lovely movie realization Emperor's Royal Guard from the what is it the what's the name of the collection? The movie realization. It's not it's not Bandai. Is it Bandai?
I don't know.
Talking about the manufacturer?
Yeah, it is Bandai. There are a series of these beautifully designed figures based on Star Wars characters that are designed to look like they are from Edo, Japan, or feudal Japan. And they are very, very pricey, and I can't afford them, but I'd like to look at them, and I want you to look at them too. Marvel.
It's here as like
See the beauty.
It's a comfort blanket for
Yes,
Cole right
yeah,
now.
and I will be putting up a Kickstarter this week, so I can get my Akazonae Royal Guard movie realization figure, because Lord knows I can't afford to pay for it all by my little self.
More of a GoFundMe project than a Kickstarter. But anyway, if you want to get this, you can buy them at the Comics Dungeon.
Don't buy this one though. This is.
All right.
We'll put his GoFundMe in the show notes.
All right. Well, that's book report, and coming up is quiz time. But before that, I want to tell you that the Perfect Bound podcast is brought to you by the Panel Jumper. You can see everything Nicole Hornaday and I do at thepaneljumper.com. You can also see our latest episode, An Odd Duck, this Wednesday, the 27th of July, 2016, at the Central Cinema. Links in the description. Also, this podcast is brought to you by the Comics Dungeon, which is where we are right here.
Right
you can see us on
now.
the video. And at 319 Northeast 45th Street in beautiful downtown Wallingford, just north of Seattle, or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at comicsdungeon.com. Like them on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Send us an email,
like us.
perfectboundpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes or however you get your podcasts. And now, put your quiz hats on, everybody. It's quiz time. This week, the questions come to us from one of our frequent quiz time contributors, Mr. John E.
Yay,
so
John!
secure those quiz hats because some of these questions get really deep.
Yep. It's a roller coaster.
This one is called Lost in Space. These are comic characters that have lost their lives in space. Number 1. In War of Kings number 6 from August 2009, this character lost their life aboard a spaceship which exploded in the last fights with Vulcan.
Black Bolt?
Yeah, Black Bolt. Well done, Cole. Number 2.
Thank you.
In Iron Man, let me start that over. Number 2. In Iron Man, Bad Blood number 4 from December of 2000, this character accidentally froze in a block of ice. His body is now drifting in space. His last name is a construction tool. I'm just going to give it to you. It's Justin Hammer. I tried to give you a hint, but I couldn't get that out. Number 3, in Silver Surfer Volume 3, number 109 from October of 1995, because you need to know which is
Of course.
edition.
Yeah.
It's this character perished aboard Galactus' spaceship, which exploded during the fight with Morg.
I don't know.
Morg time. Jeez. No, it wasn't Terex.
Wasn't Pip the Troll.
Frankie Ray?
The answer is Tyrant.
Oh.
Number 4, in Thunderbolts, Volume 1, number 56, from November of 2001, this character died in the vacuum of space by gravitron.
And I read that.
I have 2 names here. You can just give me one.
No.
All right, the answer is Meteorite or Valerie Barnhart. And finally, number 5.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Finally, number 5. In
Yes.
The Avengers, Volume 3, number 76 from February of 2004, this character committed suicide in space via self-explosion.
Wonder Man?
It's not Wonder Man.
Oh.
Chris, do you have you have a
Jack
thought?
of Hearts.
It is Jack of Hearts. Well done, sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, he came back and died 2 issues later.
Again? The guy just loves to die.
Bendis did it.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you for listening, and
Thank
we
you,
will
John.
see you next
Thanks,
week.
John.
Thank you.